From north to south, east to west, Eddie Stobart's trucks traverse the UK.
Flat out at 56. This is precise planning, this is.
Having triumphed on the roads, it's full speed ahead for the rail division. And they're flying high at London Southend Airport too.
It's exciting times. I think how the airports come together and hopefully get up to 1 million passengers.
Crossing borders in huge convoys, the truckers are advancing into Europe.
You don't get this driving up and down the M6. The scenery around here is spectacular.
But the clock doesn't stop.
You think it was a matter of life and death?
With deliveries to be made.
Slowly, slowly catch your monkey.
And challenges to master.
I hate it when it's not dead straight.
Whether home or abroad, the wheels just keep on turning.
Right, here we go. Police have stopped. 200 metres, let's do it.
Get on.
Coming up, 16 trucks and trailers set off on a 1,200-mile road trip to the Spanish Grand Prix.
I don't see any other vehicles other than Stobart wagons as far as the eye can see.
Back in Blighty, waste warrior Tim Fox flies the flag on home turf.
There's not many times you can do 3 countries in one day. International truck driver.
And it's Manchester madness for Liverpudlian trucker Jimmy Callaghan.
This is going to be a nightmare. This is going to be a nightmare.
Haulage giant Eddie Stobart started out life delivering agricultural produce around Cumbria. Now the firm's fleet of trucks travel the equivalent of 24 laps of the Earth every day, delivering goods of every shape and size. And one of their highest profile contracts is with Formula One team Mercedes-AMG Petronas. For the first time ever, Stobart have been asked to transport and build Mercedes' huge hospitality suite, known as the Motorhome.
The motorhome itself, well, it is unique. We only have the one of them. The pressure's really going to be on the Stobart team.
Mercedes expect the motorhome to be delivered to 8 of their races around Europe. And the maiden run will be to the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. It will take 16 brand new trucks and trailers, travelling 1,200 miles to get the job done. But first, the trucks have to be loaded. And the man in charge of making sure the load goes smoothly...
This is where it all comes together now.
...is 35-year-old project manager Lee Norwood.
Literally lift, move across, drop. In theory. We'll see what happens.
This massive motorhome is comprised of 28 separate pieces. To transport it, Stobart have had to shell out over £350,000 for 16 of these Schmitz trailers.
The challenge at the moment is to get the first 2 units into the first trailer to understand how everything's going to work.
The Schmitz mega trailers can be transformed in minutes. With their patented height adjustment system, the internal frame can be raised an extra 300 millimetres. The 37-foot sliding roof concertinas neatly into an 8-foot space behind the truck's headboard. And screw-out corner stanchions enable the load opening to be widened by 900 millimetres. Just like a giant jigsaw, Lee's plan is to deconstruct this monster motorhome piece by piece.
This one will be coming off first, and then the next 2 come straight off and straight on, strap down and off we go.
The first of the 28 pieces, known as pods, is carefully craned into place.
Months of planning about to be... see if it works.
Lee's plan is for the crane to suspend the pod in mid-air as the trailer reverses into position. Once there, the pod will be lowered onto the trailer and fixed into place.
Keep him going back.
But the truckers have spotted a problem.
Just concerned about the distance between the front of the pod and that sliding roof. If it touches that, it's going to knacker it, basically.
The trailer's concertinaed roof is now preventing the pod from being positioned.
So a few inches out, basically. And in this case, a few inches matter.
Told you from day one, mate.
With 16 trailers to be loaded and the countdown to race day well underway.
Take the wood out.
We're planning on this feet.
It's vital they find a fix. Quick.
Somehow we need to move that chain back.
Hoping to slide the trailer's roof out of the way, they've removed its locking pins.
There's some little clips on the front which we've released.
But the unclipped roof can't slide to the back of the trailer because a metal bolt is now in the way.
I don't think they're going to catch upside at pods, do you?
I hope not.
Because they're like sticking out like that.
No.
With a quick saw and a tug, the roof glides neatly back.
Pull it. Right, let's get this in position now and let's get this trailer loaded.
So the truck can reverse.
Wagon's coming back, guys!
And the crane can finally lower the first pod into place.
It's difficult moment. We got there in the end, so now happy. Like I say, get these two on now and then we can all go into bed.
It's taken almost 3 hours just to load the first pod. There's 27 more to go. And with only 2 days to complete the job, the clock is ticking. Coming up, it's convoy calamity as Stobart's motorhome crew hits the road.
I've just spoke to Pete and he said there's some rust-coloured water coming out of some of the units.
And day driver Jimmy Callahan feels the inner city squeeze.
We're not getting out of here. The problem is we're blocking. We're not fitting through that gap.
Eddie Stobart are famous for always having well-presented trucks and trailers. But sometimes it pays to get downright dirty. Stobart's biomass division turn over more than £4 million, handling 500,000 tonnes of recyclable goods a year. And one driver who's delivered more than his fair share.
Load it up nice and happy, sheets on and out.
Is 44-year-old tramper Tim Fox.
If in doubt, turn left.
For this trip, Tim will be driving through 3 countries.
There's not many times where you can do 3 countries in one day. International truck driver. Don't forget to go to duty-free shop, get your fags.
There'll be no time for that. Starting in Scotland, it's a 20-mile journey north from Queensferry, west of Edinburgh, to collect a load of scrap paper from a recycling centre in Kirkcaldy, Fife. Then it's a 283-mile drive south through northwest England to his drop-off point, a recycling plant in Sandycroft, Flintshire, Wales.
Now we're just coming onto the Forth Road Bridge, just north of Edinburgh.
Tim's driving across one of his favourite parts of the UK, the Firth of Forth.
And it's actually a fantastic site. I love this bridge. You've got a rail bridge. I mean, that is a fantastic bit of engineering, that. I love I don't know, just the view, the whole thing. When the speed limit on it is 50 miles an hour, I never do more than 40. I like to just soak it in a bit, just have a look round and beautiful view. I could spend all day going backwards and forwards over this.
Once over the bridge, Tim's mind turns to the rainy weather.
I'm surprised people in Scotland are so as tall as they are, because with all this water that's constantly cascading down, you'd think they'd shrink, wouldn't you?
He may not like the rain, but Tim is glad to be roaming the glens.
But I like it up here. Scotland's stunning. The scenery is absolutely beautiful. I mean, you've got the hills here now. You've got the pine forest there on your left. It's just beautiful, beautiful countryside. You can see why the Scots are so proud of the country.
Sightseeing over. Within 30 minutes, the biomass maestro arrives at his pickup point, a recycling centre. But in order to get his load, he needs to climb 10 feet in the air to unroll his plastic roof.
Like, I am very slim, as you can see. We've got, what, a 3-foot gap there, I can just about get in this. But when I get in that gantry, that's designed for, well, it's not designed for truck drivers. And all that wet, the dead flies that are on the front of the trailer, You can work it out, can't you, what's going to happen?
Once up, Tim just peels the roof back.
Oh, there we go. Like I said, nice wet band across my shirt. And my belly got some as well.
In order to get loaded, Tim has to drive his truck into the warehouse. Then a tractor's scoop fills his trailer with 20 tons of scrap paper and cardboard, which has been collected from recycling bins around the east of Scotland. But the trucker can't pull his roof across just yet.
It's just a little bit high at the back, so we're just getting to push it in, try and compact it down a little bit more, just make it easier to get the sheet on.
A full load of uneven paper means it's time for Tim to step in.
I'm going to try and pull the sheet on now, but it's getting it up that first bit of a hump. If I can get it up to the top of that, it'll come over all right. If I can't, well, you're going to see a fat lad sweat like a glass blower's arse.
It takes all his might to yank his roll-top roof over the trailer.
Hey, it's coming. He's good. Seat it up. Job done.
Tim hits the road for his 283-mile trip south through 3 countries. And he pounds the tarmac back across the Forth Road Bridge.
It's exactly the same as when we came north, it's just that everything's on the other side.
Destination, Wales. Plenty of time for Tim to tell us about his interesting pastime.
You know, people have hobbies. They have Stobart spotters, a spotters club. I spot roundabouts. It's a strange one, admittedly. But it's my thing.
And it seems Scotland has the bonniest.
The Scottish roundabouts, they glisten in the rain. I've never seen a dry one yet, but they're very nice roundabouts. They're always very well manicured. So there's another one here. It's got trees on this one. A nice little bridge.
Tim's in roundabout heaven.
2 more roundabouts I can add to my list.
But he won't see any more for a long time. He's now on the M74 motorway.
Still in Scotland yet, so it's still raining.
Just over 2 hours later, Tim crosses the border and it's onto the M6.
We're coming out of Scotland into England. You notice the rain's easing up. Running for the border. I'm happy, the fat boy's smiling.
Driving through country number 2.
It's not raining because we're in England.
Over the next 3 hours, Tim cruises along for 150 miles and soon enters his 3rd country of the day.
We'll come out of England into Wales now. International trucking. Chester's there, but that's England, which is just straight across there, but we're in Wales here.
Who needs Phileas Fogg when there's Phileas Fox? But it's not so much around the world in 80 days, more like 3 seasons in 1 day.
We're in rainy Scotland, cloudy England, but it's looking like sunny Wales.
But Tim's globe-trotting has come to an end. He's reached his drop-off point, a recycling plant in Sandycroft, bang on schedule.
Nice and straight. Not hit anything just yet. We'll have that. And we're on.
After backing his biomass beast into the warehouse, Tim turns his trailer's walking floor mechanism on and lets it do the work.
So all it's doing now is just walking the paper out.
In just over 10 minutes, his 20 tons of scrap paper are tipped, joining a 75-ton pile in the warehouse, leaving Tim with some housekeeping to do.
Soon I'll put your next drop with a clean trailer. That's it, job done.
The waste warrior may be done and dusted, but 30 miles away in Warrington, things are just revving up. Stobart's motorhome crew have been loading up 16 trucks and trailers, destined for the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. It's 8 a.m. D-Day has arrived. The The 28-pod motorhome is fully packed and ready to go, so it's over and out from load manager Lee.
So the trailers have loaded fine. Everything seems to be working really well.
And the baton is passed on to a crack team of international truckers. News of one of Stobart's largest ever convoys has spread far and wide. And the truck spotters aren't going to miss this exclusive for the world.
I'm up at 10 to 5 this morning, unfortunately, which I must be stupid, but there you go. That's the life of a spotter.
Right, come on, let's make a move. Crack on, man.
And the spotter's dedication pays off. At 11:05, 16 brand new Stobart trucks and trailers hit the road. Destination, Spain.
Wonderful. It was well worth the drive down from Sheffield.
From their base in Warrington, it's a 272-mile journey south to the Eurotunnel in Folkestone. Once on the continent, the truck convoy will travel 660 miles through France for a historic photo shoot on the famous Milau bridge. Then it's a 230-mile trek through the Pyrenees to the Circuit de Catalunya near Barcelona, Spain. But only 3 hours into their journey, heading south on the M1, one of the truckers has raised the alarm.
I've just spoke to Pete and he said there's some rust-coloured water coming out of some of the units.
Right.
Open them up, just check the valves are closed.
Right, mate, no problem.
The motorhome is worth £2 million. So any damage to any one of the 28 pods could spell disaster and prevent it from being erected at the Spanish Grand Prix. The truckers take a pit stop to investigate. Some water has got inside one of the pods.
If you could stick a bit of rag in, and just wherever it's wet, top floor, just give it a bit of a wipe up. You know where them rags are in the back of my trailer, don't you?
Yeah.
And one man who's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
Professional drivers at the end of the day. Like that.
Is 36-year-old Ben Wild.
We're all small cogs in a very big works. You take one of those cogs away, and the whole thing doesn't work.
Ben's hoping this water isn't going to cause any lasting damage.
This is the part that everyone's going to stand on. This is the part that everyone's going to see. The clients, the customer. If you was at home and you'd spilt something at home, you'd clean it up straight away, wouldn't you? We've seen it, we've located it, we've dealt with the problem, we've got rid of it. Let's go.
Problem solved. The convoy continues to pound the tarmac. Next stop, the Eurotunnel. Never before has this many Stobart trucks boarded the same cross-channel train. And as they swarm down onto the loading ramp, in true Stobart tradition, they've even christened it.
All about to board the Stobart Shuffle. Handbrake on. We now board the train.
The truckers are about to make Stobart history. In 2 days' time, they'll all be crossing the tallest bridge in the world in one of the firm's largest ever convoys.
Big smiles, happy faces.
Official photographer Dave Mulholland will be on hand to capture it at the request of Chief Operating Officer William Stobart.
William's attention to detail is second to none, and he's dead keen for us to get some good shots. Let's put it like this: if we don't get good shots, I'm a dead man.
Stobart don't just operate in the glamorous world of motorsports. The bulk of their business is delivering to supermarkets. Every year, their fleet of chilled vehicles deliver 3 million pallets of food. And they've become a familiar presence on British roads.
Driving down the road and you've got a gang of kids in the car and they're going past you and they're all waving at you. You give them a wave, Puts a smile on your face.
43-year-old Jimmy Callahan is a former soldier in the army. He joined the Stobart force 2 years ago. And now this urban warrior's battling against a very different foe.
The worst thing about city centres is the traffic and parked cars. Parked cars would be the death of me.
It's 6 a.m. at Stobart's Tesco depot in Widnes. And Jimmy's starting his shift.
Morning. What have you got for me today?
There we go, my love.
Oh my God.
Have a good day.
You've got to be kidding me. See you later. More drops than the number 11 bus. It's going to be a long day.
This is a multi-drop run. 20 cages of chilled food bound for 5 locations around Manchester. The first delivery is 30 miles away, south of the city centre in Didsbury. Then it's 1 mile round the corner for drop number 2 in Fallowfield. After making 2 further deliveries in East Manchester, it's a 10-mile trip back into the city centre and into Ardwick for his last drop.
And we're good to go.
Jimmy sets off on his busy run, but he can't get into top gear yet. It's rush hour on Manchester's notorious ring road.
Doesn't normally build up this far back. It's just a nightmare, innit? So crawling along like this is going to make us late for the first delivery.
Luckily, the congestion eases. And half an hour later, Jimmy's homing in on the Didsbury store, bang on schedule.
There's our shop here. Just coming up on the right.
With so many obstacles on the road, it's going to be challenging.
We've got all kinds of roadworks. This is going to be a nightmare. This is going to be a nightmare.
This nightmare is a curbside drop, where all day drivers must park their trucks in the store's designated parking bay. But with the car illegally parked in his way and traffic now starting to build, Jimmy decides there's only one thing for it.
I'm going to have to pull in as much as I can. Block this road off. It's this red one. There's nothing I can do. Shouldn't be there. It's a loading bay.
With no room to pull forward, Jimmy's 33-foot trailer can't swing round anymore and is now blocking half the road. It's not long before some drivers get the hump.
What do you want me to do? Shouldn't be there. No, you're only trying to do your job and you get moaning at you. Piss me off. This car needs to be moved. I can't get in.
Jimmy's got 4 more deliveries to do and can't afford any delays.
Yeah, he's going now.
Shopping done, the driver pulls off, and this trucker can pull in.
They all got busy lives, haven't they? It's only them that count. They've got to get to work, they've got to do this. You know, I've got a job to do as well.
But being a true Stobart pro, Jimmy soon changes his tune.
How does that song go? Things can only get better.
Jimmy nimbly unloads his 5 cages of chilled goods. And now, half an hour behind schedule, he can't wait to get going.
I'm out of here. Had enough. This road is a nightmare. Trusty wagon driver lets me out. We always rely on a wagon driver.
Find out later if Scouser Jimmy's still feeling the Mancunian jinx. Coming up, there's no room at the trucking inn for Stobart's international convoy.
Go in there.
Whoa! And things go from bad to worse for urban warrior Jimmy Callahan.
See if someone comes out and moves it. Failing that, we'll have to phone the police.
Stobart have landed a prestigious Formula One contract with the Mercedes AMG Petronas team. 16 brand new trucks and trailers are transporting a £2 million Mercedes Motorhome to the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. En route, they'll be taking part in a historic photo shoot, bound for the Stobart archives. After 2 days on the road, the truckers have enjoyed the French countryside.
If Stobart opened a depot in France, I'll be first in the queues to move down and work down here.
And in convoy, have eaten up a combined distance of almost 9,000 miles. It's now the third morning of their epic trip. Time for the convoy to hit the road again. And one of the truckers is loving every minute.
Apart from Normandy, probably one of the second most favourite places in France. It's where the Volvic water comes from. It's bowled at source here, and it's a beautiful place. Very much like Scotland.
46-year-old Mark Wright is a 5-year Stobart stalwart.
Got to get it right. It's a pretty big gig, to be honest.
And it doesn't come much bigger than going down in the Stobart history books.
We're taking this route because we're going over a bridge called the Milau Bridge, which is some people might know as a massive man-made bridge.
From Tours, the convoy will be winding its way 350 miles into the mountains of southern France. At Milau, they will cross the iconic Milau Bridge for a historic photo shoot, before trekking a further 230 miles south to the Circuit de Catalunya near Barcelona in Spain. First job of the day is to get the trucks looking spick and span for the photo shoot.
But we've got to clean some of the trailers, got white residue still on it from being brand new. So we've got to park somewhere where there's water to make them look new and stuff, you know. No truck washers around here.
Mark and 2 other truckers have been sent ahead of the pack to find somewhere suitable to spruce up all the trucks. They pull into a set of services. Parking spaces appear to be at a premium.
There's a few. I think there's enough, but they're going to be a little bit scattered, provided no one else decides to come in. But it depends how far beyond they are. See, if they're far, people might start coming in, or it might even empty. So it should be okay. But just we need some water and stuff like that, which I believe we can get up there.
Mark sends a message to the rest of the convoy. And they're hot on his tail.
Look, anybody been in Stobart Convention? Where you been? Look.
But organising a Stobart cleaning convention in a confined space like this is going to take some doing.
Some of them need to park up there. Just trying to find space for them all.
This doesn't bode well.
Yo! In there, go in there.
The trucks just keep on coming.
Go in there.
But the same can't be said for parking spaces.
Just trying to get them all in now. I don't think there's room, to be honest.
Whoa! Find out later if it's convoy calamity for Mark Wright. Back in Blighty, day driver Jimmy Callahan is trying to complete his multi-drop delivery around Manchester, having been already stumped by a parked car at his first drop in Didsbury.
This is going to be a nightmare. This is going to be a nightmare.
Now half an hour behind schedule, Jimmy's racing against the clock.
Once you fell behind, it can be quite hard to make it up, make the time up. There's the shop there on the left.
But there's only one way into this store in Fallowfield.
We've got to go round the back.
The approach to the delivery point is down a narrow residential street, which is tricky territory for a trucker.
Don't want it to be a load of cars in my way.
Luckily, with no obstacles in Jimmy's path, all he has to do now is reverse his trailer through the narrow gates.
I want to be as close to that edge as I can. Perfect on this one here. Then the job's a good one, and we'll unload it.
Now on a roll, the urban warrior gets his skates on, and the cages come flying out.
2 down, 3 to go.
About to make the perfect getaway. A fellow driver has other ideas. It's another dreaded parked car.
You're not getting out of here. Problem is, we're blocked in. We're not fitting through that gap. Just have to give it a few minutes. See if someone comes out and moves it. Failing that, we'll have to phone the police to get it moved.
With already 30 minutes to make up, this could mean the end of the road for Jimmy's multi-drop. And he's not the only one caught up in this mess.
He's got the same problem as me.
The car is now causing a real stink.
Will you fit through it?
I don't think you will get through that, will you?
I won't.
This day driver can't get out, and these bin men can't get in.
Looking at it from here, I might squeeze through. Yeah. And if I get through, you'll get through, won't you?
This will be a true trucking test of nerve.
Might squeeze through.
The bin men widen the way as much as possible. And we'll try to guide Jimmy through the tightest of gaps. Has he bitten off more than he can chew? We'll never know. The bin man spots the car owner.
We have found the owner.
Meaning Jimmy can finally get back to business.
Cheers, lad. Thanks a lot. I've never come across that.
It's plain sailing for Jimmy's last 17 miles in Manchester. First to Denton, where with the easiest of deliveries he makes up for lost time.
There's good, there's real good, and then there's me.
Now back on schedule with spirits sky high. This urban warrior soon finds his way to his final drop at Ardwick to complete his mission.
Job done.
Almost 800 miles away in the south of France, the Stobart Motorhome crew are closing in on their destination, the Spanish Grand Prix. They're moments away from taking part in a historic photo shoot. And Mark Wright has found somewhere for this green armada to park up and get polishing.
There's loads of room here, anyone?
With some of the trucks struggling to park, Mark admits defeat.
Should we go on to the next one then? Next bigger one. We're off to find a parking area that's big enough to take all of us.
And the man whose mission it is to lead them over the Milau Bridge is 56-year-old Colin Mulroy.
I went 5 weeks away the first trip, and 10 years later I'm still trying to get home.
Colin's clocked up a few miles on the continent since then. But he's never set eyes on the Milau Bridge before.
I'm looking forward to it. Apparently it's a spectacular sight, and we're well worth it.
Opened in 2004, this is the tallest bridge in the world, standing at an astonishing 343 metres high. It's taller than the Eiffel Tower and took 3 years to build. At a cost of almost £330 million. First to make it to the bridge is Stobart's official photographer, Dave Mulholland. He calls convoy leader Colin.
Oh, Colin, not a cloud in the sky. I'm just thinking, how can this day go wrong? Have you got RTA at the bridge?
1400 English.
I'll tell them you're going to be there approximately 1400.
Yeah.
You give me a call when you're all parked up.
Yeah. What we're going to do is just leave the cleaning to the last available parking area before the bridge.
I love you to pieces. Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, bye-bye, mate.
The thing Stobart gets you to do.
And the man William Stobart has entrusted to capture the unique moment is Dave Mulholland.
One thing's for certain, the French may have built it, the French may operate it, but the French would never be able to put 16 trucks on it in one go. Only Eddie Stobart can do something like that.
So that's the challenge. With the time and location set, all the truckers have to do now is arrive at the bridge together. But Mark's load weighs 22 tons. And as the convoy begins to climb into the mountains, he starts to lag behind.
Listen, you're about 2.5 k's, 3 k's in front of me, Cole, and I'm very, very heavy.
We're going to stop nearer the bridge. So if you just keep plodding on, I'll keep it slow up the front here.
All right, Cole, no worries, mate.
This photo shoot will be all about precision timing. And with the weather picture perfect, Dave Mulholland's raring to go.
Are you just about there?
Well, I said 2 o'clock English. So, what time are we on now?
Oh, no, right, 2 o'clock English.
Yeah, aye.
I don't want you to say to me in the future anything to do with England, which is including the time. So you're going to be here for 3 o'clock.
No, 2 o'clock English. 3 o'clock, yes.
Colin, if you've got a delivery in France for 3 o'clock, what time do you get there?
3 o'clock, local.
3 o'clock, local time. Everything's local. Right, so you're going to get here at French time, 3 o'clock, right?
Yes. I told him 2 o'clock English, didn't I?
The convoy will have one chance to cross the bridge.
When we get through Payage here, there's a parking area apparently. We need to pull in there on the right side and get ourselves all together.
It's not just going into the Stobart history books that Colin's got to worry about. It's the French police. Dave Mulholland's tipped them off about the convoy and they've laid down the law.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I've been into the offices. I've been and seen the top people, right?
Right.
You've got to do your normal speed and your normal spacing. They're adamant about it. If you get too bunched up,
aye,
and you go too slow, the fright, and you bring the bridge down.
Oh.
Now,
don't worry, Dave. I will make sure that they understand fully just what's expected.
Absolutely spot on.
Colin's my man.
But just moments before it's time for the convoy to set off.
I know, the gendarmes are in now, look.
The boys in blue turn up.
Bonjour.
To meet the men in green.
Vous avez un responsable?
Coming up, can Colin parlez-vous with the French boys in blue?
The parlez avec les chauffeurs for distance security.
And it's all eyes on the prize for Stobart's answer to David Bailey.
Here we go, boys. Here we go.
Stand easy. Stand easy. False alarm.
"16 of Eddie Stobart's finest truckers are transporting a £2 million motorhome to the Spanish Grand Prix. It's taken them 2.5 days to drive from Warrington to here at the Milau Bridge. Official Stobart photographer Dave Mulholland has been charged with capturing the historic moment for their archives. So it's time to get the trucks, all named after girls, primped and preened for their big moment.
Right, my wife's name. That's the first name, and that's my surname as well, like so.
Even the police can't help grabbing a picture with the Stobart stunners.
Ramos! All good-natured, no fines.
But due to the combined weight of the convoy being almost 600 tons, They've insisted the truckers keep a set distance apart as they cross the bridge.
150 metres apart. Not less, not more. God, this is hard work.
Mark's carrying the heaviest load, which is slowing him down.
Can you keep it 75 km so everyone's caught up with you?
Yeah, 2 lines apart.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
If Mark can't keep up, the iconic photo will be ruined.
Right, then let's do it.
One of Stobart's largest ever convoys rolls out. And it's a 1 mile downhill run.
My perfect picture is now in God's hands. It's like so much adrenaline because, you know, we can only do this one. We can only do this once.
Right, here we go. Police have stopped. 200 metres, let's do it.
Lead driver Colin is first onto the bridge.
How's it looking, gents?
So far, so good. The convoy is perfectly aligned behind him.
Look at that. Will you ever look at anything as fantastic as that? Come on, boys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect spacing. Perfect spacing. Beautiful.
All together, which is good. Good spacing. Yeah, it's all right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All of them. Perfect. Perfect, gentlemen.
The clock's ticking.
Well, everyone's keeping up.
All the trucks are now on the bridge.
Come on, boys, a bit faster, just a touch. Come on, keep it going.
Has the convoy done enough to get the shot Dave's looking for?
One vehicle, just one out of sync.
And the guilty party knows why.
Because I've got the heaviest trailer, they should let me go first because there's a massive gap between truck 4 and me.
Frontman Colin doesn't look happy.
Everybody was perfect. Mark decides to hang back about 600 metres. Said there's 2. Everybody's at 200 metres except him.
Despite this, it seems trucking's answer to David Bailey is over the moon.
Colin, absolutely priceless, fantastic,
Oh.
absolutely brilliant.
Are you sure?
There was only one truck that you would never notice, and now it was perfect. You were totally well spaced out. It could not have been better. Well done.
He's happy. I'm happy.
The shoot went perfect, he says, including all the spacing and stuff. So it went according to plan, and he was really, really happy with it. So, yeah, it's good news.
Milau mission accomplished. But it's not over yet. There's another 200 miles to the finish line.
So if we do our bit properly, putting the motor to home up properly, it's down to Schumacher and Rosberg. So over to you guys.
Taking pride of place in Stobart history, this convoy's clocked up an epic 1,200 miles, driven through 3 countries, ridden on the Stobart shuttle, crossed the tallest bridge in the world, and as they reach the checkered flag, Mark Wright's chuffed to bits.
We made it in one piece, and I'm not at last of the queue.
Another Stobart success. 2 days later, all 28 pieces of the £2 million motorhome were successfully erected and took pride of place at the Spanish Grand Prix, along with 16 very proud Stobart truckers. Next time on Eddie Stobart Trucks and Trailers, it's inner city hell for urban warrior Jimmy Callahan.
An argument with a bollard. Just want to go home.
Driver trainer Mick Leach tussles with technology.
So I'm saying I should be going bloody left, right and everywhere here, but in fact, it lies.
And bromance brews for truckers Tim Fox and Mark Dixon.
I've no idea what that means.